Hi, welcome to a very interesting episode that talks about a unique technique on using Flexique. There are other episodes out there that talk about using Flexique products to do various things. I was helping my granddaughter create a present for her mom. She's the artistic type like Marilyn, and she was using a resin to create an art. Pretty cool. It's a clear product that you put onto wood or paper and color it and create designs. I have an example here for you. So there are several techniques you can use. You can put the colors together, then use the hairdryer to spread them around and just to splatter them in this kind of an effect. Or you can put your colors together and then use something like a spatula or a pin to drag the colors through to create some lines, star effects. Or you can take your color and hold it very high and let it drop in a thin line to create little squiggly patterns. So I look at that technique and I said, hey, Flexique's clear. You can color Flexique. You can layer it. I'll bet you can do that same kind of an art with a Flexique product to make it an edible art. So that's what this episode's all about. I got some examples here for you of ones that I've done previously. Here's a couple of them that were done on just right on to the board. Used the colors and swirled them and created different patterns. Used some glitter to add some sparkle effect to it. I also created a base, a clear base, and then put the colors onto the base. So you now have a clear background that you can see the colors through. And I just wanted to point out, if you remember from previous episodes, that you can just spread out Flexique by itself, and when it dries, it is clear. So you can use it to create your windows for your house or for your car, or any other situations where you wanted a clear, edible effect in your design. Kind of neat, huh? A little bit more glitter on this one. Okay, so let's take a crack at trying some. Would you like to do that? Okay, well, I'm going to use a see-through piece of plastic cutting board that you can get at any dollar store. And I'm going to layer on top of that. So let's get started, okay? I'm going to use the layering of Flexique. Now, as you remember, Flexique sets quickly in cold temperatures. So in order to give me a little bit more working time, I'm going to use a plate that I put in the microwave, or in the oven actually, to get hot to retain the heat and give me a little bit more working time. So now what I'm going to do is just start with putting a couple of colors next to each other. And swirling them around. Well, actually, that's not a bad technique there. One drop into the other. And maybe add a bit of gold with some gold glitter, and then swirl it around. Now, if you wanted to, you can add just a little bit of white to give it some contrast. And you can see that you can create whatever designs you want by playing with the different colors. Okay, so there's one technique. Okay, so here's another technique. You see that I'm using these little pinch bowls. They're nice when you're using just a little bit of Flexique that you want in different colors. These are available on Flexique.com. They're really kind of convenient. So in this case, I'm going to add a little bit of red and white and some green and, oops, some blue. And I'm going to use a spatula to just create some lines. And you can see how it flows. In this case, I didn't put a layer of Flexique down first. So you see it grabs onto your base pretty quickly and doesn't dissipate, doesn't spread out. Okay. So you can tell I'm not really a great artist, but that's the idea. You get the idea. If you drag your spatula through the colors that you want, in this case I've got some green, I can just make a line right through all the things that I'm dragging, and it makes a nice long line. Okay, so that's the second technique. Okay, for this third technique, I'm going to use a glob of green, and I'm going to try to do a very interesting combination of colorations. And now I'll swirl them around a little bit and use a heat gun. So you see how it spreads the colors out, and if you have a stiffer background, it lets the colors spread a little bit more. So the last one I'm going to try is the one where you have long lines. This technique only works if the product is a little bit cooler. If it's warm, it tends to drip instead of string. So we could try the heating gun. There's your effect. You can see how it spreads the colors, dissipates them smoothly rather than in stark borders. Another technique where you just spread the colors around by running a spatula through them. So there's a way of getting some texture into your art. If you use the heat gun to really bubble up the Flexique, the colored Flexique, onto your background. Now you're not going to be able to use a plastic base for that. You're going to need some kind of styrofoam base or wooden base. So anyway, that's a few techniques. So let's try one more. So you can see as the Flexique gets cooler, you can string it onto your palette. And then of course you can manipulate the product by just moving the background. To get different effects. So you can see you can get a little bit of tie-dye effect with your combination of colors and swirling them around. So there it is. A pretty interesting technique, wouldn't you say? Try it yourself. Take some pictures and send them to us. We'd like to be able to see what you come up with. There's a few more things coming down the pike, so keep staying tuned in. And we'll see you next time, right? Take care.